Good morning, Noah. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Paddy.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Good man.
Yeah, I've been listening to this thing about the power thing. I heard listening to Caddy Dunderdale and Ed Martin and them guys, you know, supposed to know the reason behind this power outages, you know, but they don't seem to be letting the people know.
Well,
I'm a boilermaker by trade.
Okay.
In the late 1990s and early 2000, the Holyrood generating station was supposed to do a complete overhaul by the tune of $800 million.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be overhauled, and that was supposed to be good for the power, for the keep power going in Newfoundland for 30 years. Now, one day when he became premier, he squashed all that, and the contract wasn't lit to do that job. But that was all in the works for to be done. The Holyrood generating station. Then they said it was an environmental thing and this, to give excuses why they wouldn't want to do it, you know. Then Jerry Skinner put in a proposal for the wind and the solar systems. They had nothing to do with it. They wouldn't entertain this proposal.
What's that?
So anyway,
what's that got to do with anything?
They got a lot to do with why the power would have the power outages here in Newfoundland, because if they'd have done the Holyrood generating station at that time, upgraded the generating station at that time,
yeah,
to the tune of $800 million, it would have had lots of power there, and then they would entertain this proposal from Jerry Skinner for the wind and the solar. They would have had lots of power. Then they would have put in some infrastructure, some more infrastructure, for power lines, and then they wouldn't have had to go and make this big bad rush for the Muskrat Falls deal. But anyway...
but just 1 second, though. So if we had to bring on the wind and stuff and to pick up on your point, they would have lots of power. So does that mean you're pro Muskrat Falls person, given that that's going to generate a lot of power?
No, not really.
Oh.
But I want to have so much wood for a winter. I don't want to have enough forever, but if I'm burning wood, I want to have my wood for the winter. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're going to want it in 10 winters. You're going to want it in 10 winters from now, though, too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
Got it.
So, but anyway, they could have still went with the Muskrat Falls deal eventually. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But they would have had time on their hands. But now they haven't got the time. They've been let Holyrood go down, like the same as they let the Convoy Chance Oil refinery go down. Because I know I'm a boilermaker by trade, and I've been worked on. I worked all over Alberta, and the environmental thing about the Holyrood deal. You know, in Alberta, all the power stations, I worked on every one of them. I lived out there for 8 years, and I still work there as a boilermaker on those power plants in Alberta. Every power plant in Alberta is run by coal-fired.
Okay.
And I tell you what, there's people worked on them generating stations for 40 to 50 years all their life. And you know what? Them people are still living and living healthy lives. So, I mean, how long can you live by, you know what I mean? You got those environmental people, you know, and people listening to those environmental people, and the rest of the people, the lives of the rest of the people have been put in jeopardy on account of people for some reason listening to them. Anyway, I don't think that was the reason why Danny listened for the not upgrade the power and proposal that was given in by Jerry Skinner. I think they want the Muskrat Falls deal to go because it was money in somebody's pocket. And the ink wasn't dry on that Emera deal. When they signed that deal for Emera, the ink wasn't even dry on that contract when the shares of Emera skyrocket. I mean, that's public knowledge, all this stuff. So the reasoning behind why those two proposals, the Holyrood generating station wouldn't done, and they never entertained Jerry Skinner's proposal. And the reasoning behind that, I mean, is yet to be seen. But I tell you what, this government is responsible for what happened to the people in Newfoundland and Labrador. You know, Caddy Dunderdale should come on and say, boys, look, you ain't got to go to an independent PUB now. All you got to contact me and contact other people that was involved in much more closer to the deal than I was. And I tell you what, the boilermakers and the arm workers and the pipe fitters and the whole union deal contract was supposed to go ahead, and it never happened. And this is why we never got the power in Newfoundland. And now everybody is scratching their heads and wonder how come it happened. But we never even had the power. We never had the power lines to carry the power. And this is the problem. come clean and tell the people the truth. You know, I don't mind about people making mistakes. That's no problem. Human to make mistakes, to err. But I tell you what, come clean with the people of Newfoundland and Labrador and tell them what the reason behind it, and they're responsible. Hit Martin and all those fellows, they said they're supposed to go to experts. But I tell you what, I'm a much more expert than a lot of those fellows is, because I'm going to tell the truth the way it is.
Yes, but sure, you're saying now you're saying you're an expert, but you didn't accept one single thing they said to explain why they thought we were experiencing rolling blackouts or extended power outage. I still don't understand the Jerry Skinner wind farm proposal. And so you either want the review or you don't want a review, because I'm having a hard time figuring out where you stand on this. If you want to know what happened, you don't trust Dunderdale or Ed Martin, so don't you demand the reviews that are going to be done? Which is it?
Hey, you don't know the background on it. I do know the background. There's not a lot of more people know the background on it. Those people who's talking don't know the background on this. Katie Dunderdale, no, she was
sure, all the repairs and
she was Natural Resources Minister under Danny Williams. Katie Dunderdale was.
Right.
So why do they keep coming up? I talked to Tom Marshall. I talked to about this. I talked to the three Auditor Generals, John Noseworthy, Wayne Lavies, and Terry Patton. I talked to them over the years. And ask them how come, they wouldn't want to do nothing about this. I talked to the three Auditor General, see if they would see if they could get a little bit of...
Auditor General doesn't know anything about power generation either. No more than I do.
But he should have looked into different things. You know what I mean? I asked them to look into different things, but he never even got back to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you take three very prominent business people who drove out of Newfoundland. I tell you, I'll give you their names.
Who got drove out of town?
Jeff Sterling, Craig Dobbin, and Harry Steele was drove out of Newfoundland because they wouldn't bow down to the politics in Newfoundland. They had to go elsewhere to start up their businesses. And now they're icons in their business. After they died, it was icons in their business. But I tell you what, I followed the tracks of them three men, the three most prominent men in Newfoundland and Labrador, and very good business people. And they had to go out of Newfoundland in order for to upgrade their businesses.
Well, they left. Their businesses began in Newfoundland, and they left because
they wouldn't give them the rights and they wouldn't give them the permits and stuff. They want other people that was going to bow down to politics. They give other people contracts, but I mean, this is things that goes on, that I don't like. I've seen it going on over the years, you know what I mean? Patronizing certain people and all this patronization, and it's still going on. But nobody won't come out and tell the actual truth, the thing, what's happening.
So you want the review then? So no, that means you want these reviews so you can get to the bottom of it.
Yes, get the review done and prove my point that what I said was 100% right. And if he wants me to go on the panel, I'll go on the panel. All they got to do is give me a shout.
Well, and so far as people making money, when you have a $7 or $8 or $10 billion project, people are going to make money. I don't hold that against anybody. It's if they did it to screw me while they benefited someone else, and that's what we're all going to burn them on the cross. But until then, I'm not so sure. I don't know who you're saying is going to profit. Everyone who has a contract at Muskrat Falls is going to profit, and so they should.
I understand that. But Paddy, if they'd have had this done, the Holy Root generating station done up for another 30 years, they wouldn't have had to rush into this. They could have took their time and they would have had a lot more time on their side, and they still would have been able to have enough of power and that for the people in Newfoundland and Labrador. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, the proof's in the pudding.
I heard Phil Earl on there a few days ago, Dr. Phil Earl. I heard him on your line the other day, and he said, look, it's on the Hydro webpage that in 2014 they was going to need 1,650 megawatts of power. That's what he was going to need to run the show.
Right.
Anyway, the peak term of this one was, I heard the lady on, she said the peak of this one was taking out 1,550 megawatts of power. That's what the peak system was taking out when everything hell broke loose. So anyway, they still had another 100 megawatts under their original system that they had on their page. That Earl said.
But one of
I said, why does all this happen? You know what I mean?
Well, I don't know what you mean, because there's a discrepancy. Okay, whatever. Or if you're not letting me talk, then we'll just wrap it up. I'll say goodbye. The difference between the 1550 and 1650, one number is about hydro power generated, and the discrepancy is covered by other forms of power generation, because we don't just use hydro here in the province. There's a couple of wind projects that also contribute to it. So that's where that discrepancy comes out, as is my understanding when I asked the people responsible for those documents, and that's what they told me. No, I'm glad you called today. There's an awful...
Penny, just a second, Penny.
Quick now before I go.
They predicted. They had the prediction on their webpage that they was going to need 1650 megawatts of power for 2014. So why didn't they have it? You know what I mean?
That's a fair question.
Why didn't they have that power?
That's a fair question. There's absolutely no doubt we had a power generation problem. That's exactly what this is. No doubt about it. Noah, good start to my open line career, my friend. I'm glad you called.
Paddy, I'd like to see you one of those days. Have a little talk to you.
I'm all over it.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, buddy. All the best.
You have a nice day.
You too, man. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Here we go. So, look, if you don't, this is the tricky part also for those of you opposed to the PC government. If you don't trust them, and if you don't trust Ed Martin, even though I think some of that is a bit much, if you don't have those two things in your mind or your heart, then sure you must be demanding these reviews, aren't you? You know, there's a funny requirement for a lot of people who are, especially those opposed to any government, whether it be your municipal councillor, the provincial government, federal government. It's the real want to have it both ways that kind of gets lost in my head, and I'm not so sure that we're going to let you get away with a whole lot of that.